All right, hello everybody. Happy Tuesday afternoon. This is Pilates Mat with Yasmin. Let's get started. Taught a few times already, so need to rehydrate. All right, so when you're ready, let's get started. We're gonna get started down on the floor today, and I'll move my camera so you can see me. I'm going to sit comfortably, however that means for you. Legs can be crossed, or you can do a butterfly. And again, if you feel like you're super tight in your hips, or it's just not comfortable kind of in the front, or this is just not super comfortable for you in general, you can go ahead and grab a pillow. It doesn't have to be a fancy or specific pillow. Just, I would say maybe a decorative pillow. They tend to be a little bit more fluffy or less kind of susceptible to you smushing it, I should say. And actually, I kind of like that. It feels nice. So I'll start on my pillow a little elevated too. And we're just going to start with a little head roll just to kind of gently warm things up. So exhale, have that chin come down towards your chest. Roll it over to the right. Let it be gentle. Let's do one more roll in that direction. And then same thing, two in the opposite direction. We're going to let it go all the way to the side, and then back and around. Good, sitting up nice and tall. Awesome, bring the chin back to the chest. We're going to lift the head back up. Now let's have our hands come right onto our shoulders, and think of having your elbows right in line with your shoulders as well. And we're going to do a little neck opener. I believe we did this one last week, but we'll do it one more time. So you're going to look towards the front side of your elbow, and then gently look towards the back. We're going to do 3 of those, little gentle curl, and then extend, let the heart and chest lift. One more on this side, and then look at that elbow in the back. We're going to come back through the center, same thing other side. Go straight profile, and then from there look down towards that front side of your elbow or your armpit, and then look towards the back side of that elbow. 2 more there. Got 1 more. Nice. Also, most of us have kind of been on our computer, other devices, so we're going to get into our wrist a little bit today. If at any point you feel any wrist pain or anything, always stop. But I found that the only thing that actually strengthens your wrists is actually like putting some weight and doing some things on them, of course, properly and with care. But that's the only way you really kind of get things moving or any progression. So from here, we're going to interlace those hands, and you're just going to make like a little figure 8. And I'll go slow because I feel like my computer lag makes it look a little weird. It slower is a little better, too. Gotta do 1 or 2 more. And then we're gonna do the same thing in opposite direction. And this way might feel a little weird. I hear a lot of little snap, crackles, and pops happening in there. Nice, and then give them a little shake. Okay, from here, let's just, stretch them out a little bit more. So we'll grab our right hand, and then you're going to use the opposite hand to kind of pull those fingers back. If you want to intensify that, you can think of going a little bit to your side. Somehow about opening that hand up to the side always gets it a little bit more. And then the same thing, opposite side. We'll give it a nice little pull. Make sure you're doing even across all 5 knuckles. And then same thing, let it just open out just a little bit. Try not to twist. I kind of twist a lot on that first one. Got it, and then bring that arm back forward. And again, give those wrists another little mini shaky shake. Okay, from here, let's get into our upper spine a little bit. And I'll turn to my side so you can see me. Okay. Right behind the head. take a nice big inhale, almost like you're pulling your head out from your skull. You're going to lift up out of the back. From here, you're going to exhale. We're going to, instead of thinking, kind of collapsing from your chin to your chest, you want to almost feel like you're holding a little ball or a little apple or orange underneath. You're going to keep that little space and almost feel like you are reaching your chin back into your chest, but you still have that little space. And then as we curl forward, you're going to feel your ribs close down and forward to go for that little forward bend. And then we're going to inhale and lift back up. So that was a lot of information. Let's do 3 more. You're going to inhale, grow tall to lift. Exhale, gently nod the chin towards the chest, but keep a little tiny space. And then once your head can't go anymore, let it go down to your neck, through your back, all the way to those ribs. And then inhale, roll it right back up. Let's do 2 more. Lift taller, up and out. Exhale, feel like the elbows are reaching in opposition. So you're still wide, big puffed up back. Good, one last one. Exhale. Kind of close those chests. If you want on this last one, we can have the elbows kind of fold in just to get a little deeper stretch. And then open everything back wide. And we'll come back up. Drop those arms. Hopefully things are feeling a little warmer through the shoulders. Let's go for a protraction, retraction here. So we're going to float our hands up in line with our shoulders, kind of right palms facing towards one another. You're sitting up nice and tall. Legs again are relaxing, doing whatever they need to down there. We're going to go for our fingertips reaching forward as you inhale. Exhale, let those shoulder blades draw down and back in together. Inhale, reach those fingertips forward. Exhale, draw those shoulder blades back and together. So torso is staying absolutely still. You're just reaching from those fingertips. Shoulder blades kind of pop forward from your torso. And then draw those shoulder blades so much back and together that your arms kind of sink back into the socket. Let's just do 1 or 2 more there. Kind of finding that range of motion, that isolation. Got it. And then reach those arms back kind of right in line with your back so they're not too far forward, too far back. Put it right in the middle. And sometimes it does help to kind of, if you have a mirror or something you can look at, that's always nice. Okay, from there, we're going to open our hands so that our palms touch down, or I should say flip our hands so that our palms reach down. And we're going to inhale, go taller up through your spine, find that little lift. And then as you exhale, you're just going to press the arms down 2 or 3 inches. Feel kind of your shoulders reach away from your ears. You grow tall from your hips. And then inhale, we're going to let those arms float back up. And it's really small. It's more of like an energetic thing. But you want to feel that you press down and you lift. Maybe think of your ribs closing a little more. And inhale up. 1 more. Exhale. Almost like your water. You feel that resistance as you press down for your lats. Shoulder blades turn on. And then we'll let those arms float back up. And then give them a nice little shake. Okay. We're going to go to all 4s very quickly, just to, again, work with our shoulders a little bit. So, now come back to this direction. Okay. We're going to have our, make sure that your palms are right underneath your shoulders and your knees are right underneath your hips. And again, we're thinking about our nice flat palms. So as much as possible, this space that's super hard to kind of press down, you want to think of that in between your big thumb mound and your index finger is kind of pressed down evenly through all those 5 little metatarsals. And from here, we're just going to go for a quick cat-cow to our back torso. So you're going to exhale, and round through your spine, think navel to the ceiling, ribs close. And then as you inhale, kind of let everything fall open. You can think of the shoulder blades squeezing, head lifting gently up towards the ceiling, little arch in the spine. And then exhale from the abs, scoop up and in. Feel like your core set just got tightened. You can press into those palms if that helps. Even more, think of kind of scooping your butt underneath you. And then as you inhale, find that openness. We're gonna do one or two more. You can go a little faster if that feels good. On your own breath, your own time. If you wanna go a little slower, that's okay too. If you wanna just hang out in one of those two spots, that's perfect as well. Okay, because now we're gonna find our in between. We're right back in our center, and we're just gonna work through our wrist a little bit. So we're gonna do a little shift forward and back. And you might feel, I feel, especially in my more dominant hand, interesting things are happening in my wrist down there. So be gentle to it. Try not to go further than you need. Still think of the ribs closing, navel up, so you're not kind of just relaxed and hanging out there. You're still lightly pressing down into those lats. Then from here, from forward and back, let's go to a little side to side. And I'll turn to the side just so you can see what that means. We're just gonna rock right or left. Good, and again, we're stretching through all those tiny little bones and muscles in our wrists that unfortunately most of us are working at home. So we're doing a lot of computer stuff, so those wrists need a little extra work. So let's go for little circles. So you're gonna feel all those ranges of motions, forward, back, side. Good, let's just do two or three more. Keep reaching through those fingers. Think of wide spread fingers. Press weight into those hands. And the opposite, I should say, into those finger pads. So it's not just your palm or in your wrist. Your abs and shoulders are still working so that you're not just collapsing all your weight into your bottom lower limb. Good. And then we're coming back center. This is a weird one. And actually get off those wrists, give them a little shake before we go for that next one because it's a little weird. And be careful. So by that I mean don't go for it. If you feel any pain or if things aren't feeling right, shoot away from it. And I probably should have said this earlier, but now that it's come to my attention, take a second and look down at your elbow. So while doing all that, you might have noticed if the eyes are kind of that front part of your elbow is reaching forward, you're probably locked out in your elbow. You want your elbow to be a little softer, and you want it to be right in the center. So your elbow should be facing out, and then that eye part should be facing towards the center. So you have a little bit of external rotation from the top of the arm, and then the bottom of the arm has that little internal rotation, just so that you have that balance, and that's what keeps our muscles strong and supported, as opposed to kind of locking out and getting into that hyperextension, which is where a lot of injuries happen. So you stay a little more active when those eyes are facing towards one another. So keep that in mind, because now we're going to flip those palms down to the floor or to the mat. And you want to think of having all 10 fingertips onto that floor. And again, make sure you're still in your nice square all fours. If you feel like there's a lot of weight on your hands, you can all not so much weight. If this feels comfortable, go ahead and shift it all the way forward so that you can really feel that deep stretch for the front. But again, you don't want to be bearing down onto those hands. Let it be gentle. We're just going to go for a little squeezing of the fists together, almost fingertips towards the center, and then let it release. We're going to do 4 more. Squeeze them in. Maybe do a 2-3 count or a little breathe, inhale, exhale, and then let them out. 3 more. Each time, hopefully it gets a little bit easier. Every time you straighten those hands, think of all 10 fingertips or 10 fingernails down. Got it. On our last one, hold it in just a little bit longer. See if you can ball it in a little tighter. You might feel this in those forearms. And then we'll release. And again, get off those wrists. Give those hands a nice little shake. We're going to clasp our hands like we did in the beginning and go for those little figure eights or circular S-shape motions. And then same thing, opposite direction. Awesome. We'll let those go. Give them a little drop. And now let's come on to sitting back up. But this time we'll have our feet flat in line with our hips. Actually, no. Let's do a little more inner thighs today. Because, again, we always got to work on those inner thighs. We always forget our inner thighs. So we're going to squeeze our legs all the way together. And if you like, you can grab either at your calves, knees. I like to grab maybe a little underneath so that I can feel a little pull. So from here, wherever you feel comfortable grabbing, you're going to hold on. And we're going to go for that little round and curl that we did earlier, but now we're in a different perspective, so you might feel a little different. So as you exhale, we're going to scoop, have your shoulders round forward over your hips. Try to create more space. You're going to hollow out almost like an ice cream scooper. Scooped out all of your insides and you scooped forward. And then as you inhale, you're going to plant those sit bones down, roll through your spine. Use those arms to lightly pull yourself forward. Feel the elbows widen, chest, sternum, heart looks slightly up to the ceiling. And then exhale. And we're just going to go on our breath. It doesn't have to be anything fancy or dramatic. But ideally the whole time, and maybe I'll look to the side to make sure that I am doing that. You want to think of your shoulders keeping the same relation into one another in space. So you just scoop out as opposed to kind of crunching and dropping. So if you scoop, it stays right there. And lift. Do one or two more. Think of those inner thighs squeezing together. So the legs are helping you. They're active. Feet are pressing our heels, maybe balls of the toes. Pressing down into that floor. Let those arms help you as well. Think of shoulder blades wide, big puffy back. And then plant down. Use those arms, biceps to pull you forward. Awesome. From here, we're going to take that scoop all the way down to the floor. I'm going to run out of mat, so I'll scooch up a little bit. And maybe you can still see me. We'll switch. Perfect. So, squeeze those inner thighs together. We're going to inhale up at the top. You're going to exhale. We're going to scoop and we're going to roll back. Now, we're going to roll all the way till our shoulder blades touch the mat. So use those hands, let them walk you down. Still wide chest. We're going to go just to there. And then exhale, scoop. Use those arms to help scoop you up. Roll up, roll up, roll up. And this time, we're going to take it easy. We're going to fold it forward. Grow up nice and tall at the top. Exhale, scoop, roll it down. Let those hands go with you wherever they need. We're going to walk it down. Squeeze those inner thighs. Press the heels down. Go, go, go. Little space by space by space. When you feel those shoulder blades tip, that's where we go. Exhale. Reclose. Use the abs. Let the arms help you. Walk them up. Keep that deep curve. Fold forward. Roll it up tall. Let's do 2 or 3 more. Scoop, roll it back. So you want to find even more length through the front and the back body. You should feel every little vertebrae. Scoop, 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 scoop. And then deepen it. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Yes. Oh my God, I feel this. Let's do one more. We're going to scoop it back. Good, still wide chest, eyes, and exhale. Even more abs. Press those feet down if you can. Yes. And then we're up. We're going to let those legs open down. Give them a little shake if you need. Always, if you want to add your pillow or if you have a block or something, if things feel a little crunchy in your hips, go for it. But if it feels okay, have those legs nice and long in front of you. We'll do a little wide, so mat width distance, or if you see my legs are, my heels are right on the outsides of my mat, go for that distance. And we're just going to do a little twist side to side. And let it be gentle to start. We're going to inhale tall. We'll go with our breath. We'll inhale tall to the center. And then exhale. And we'll twist. And you can plant one hand in the front of your pelvis, one in the back. And kind of think of lifting up as you rotate. And then we'll come back to the center. And you'll switch, plant your, if you're going to the left, right hand forward, left hand back. And think of lifting up to twist around. Good, we're gonna do each side like that one more time, just as a little prep. Feel those right obliques turning on. Hopefully on this side I'll be able to see myself, because you want to make sure you're not little leaned back or forward. You're right on top. Oh, I got a nice crack. Perfect. We'll come back to the center. Just take a moment to fold forward. Just breathe here. I know you're wondering, where are the abs? They are coming. We're going to be a little crazy and adventurous with our abs today, so we're going to turn them on in other ways before we really kill them. Take that 1 or 2 more breaths there. Just really fold forward. See if you can reach a little forward to the feet or past the feet. And take a moment to find your curl. So kind of round your chin towards your chest and top of the head down. And then from there, extend long, think flat back, chest forward. Find that extension. And then from that extension, we're going to come all the way up. Now, let's go for that twist. And we're going to kind of build upon it. So, make sure I have enough space there. We're going to have our hands come out in line with our shoulders. We're still sitting up nice and tall from those sit bones. We're going to do a 3 pulse. You're going to exhale. And then we'll come back to the center. And same thing left. So think that it gets a little bit bigger. Your first one, and then your second one, and about that third one you see all the way behind you. And same thing other side. So it's not like you're winding. It's more like it gets a little deeper, deeper, and deepest. And I'm cheating a little bit, but don't cheat like me. Keep your hips absolutely still. And the best way to do that is to press down into those heels. Good. Each side one more time. Keep lifting up tall through the center. Last one. Press down into the backs of those legs. Awesome. Hands down. Take mini moment. We're going to increase that. Hands are coming back in line with those shoulders. We're going to inhale through the center. You're going to exhale. We're going to twist over to that right side. From there, you're going to take that right hand, reach it down to the floor, whatever that means to you. If that's just fingertips, if that's elbow, go for it. And if you're at the elbow, you can reach up towards that top hand. And then we're going to back to the fingertips, back to our twist. See if you can deepen it. And then come back center. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. From there, take it down to that diagonal. Oh, you guys can't see my fingers. I'll move up. We're going to go for our twist. From there, go on your down diagonal. Go to the fingertips. If it's okay, go to that elbow. Think long and out. Reach, 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 reach. And then twist a little bit more to come back center. 2 more each way. Inhale, center. Exhale. Bring it out. Grow longer. Think almost like that left fingertips are reaching so long up and out that you kind of have to fold. If you like, let it go a little further. Reach it overhead. Shoot it out long. Reach it up. Twist more. Come back to the center. Exhale. Left obliques. Extend those left obliques. Reach longer through the right fingertips. Go for that long stretch. Good. Shoot the hands back up overhead. Take it back up. We have 1 more each side. Exhale, twist. Inhale, lift as you shift back long. Reach the hands up overhead. Shoot it back out. Lift it back up. And back in. Last. We're twisting. Reach it out long. Overhand. Or hand overhead. Arm back up. Load it up, twist even more. Come through the center. Fold it forward. Take that moment at the bottom. Hopefully we feel a little longer. And now we're going to have a little stretch moment. You don't do very many kind of passive stretches, but today we are. So lightly fold one leg in. It doesn't have to be, your biggest super split. Gentle for where that is for you. I'm taking it real easy today. We're gonna go for our oblique twist towards that leg, which also helps if it's not super far. And then think of those shoulders staying square right over that leg as you come forward. And just breathe there, hold wherever that is for you. You can grab ankle, you can grab foot if that's accessible. If you're at your foot, use your arms, use your biceps to kind of help pull you forward. And just breathe, relax the head to the knee or the shin. Okay, from here, you're going to plant this right hand down. And if you grab the foot or plant it to the floor, wherever that is for you. And then we're going to take that top arm, and we did a lot of side work stuff today, so let's stretch that out. You just want to gently lift up towards the ceiling. You can use that bottom hand to kind of help you plant. See if you can stay long, see if you can reach a little longer. Can you touch those toes and still keep reaching up to the ceiling? Good. Maybe extend a little further back. Awesome. We're going to take it back forward and then walk it back up. Ooh, I fell out of my QLs back there. And let's do the same thing other side. So mini little open. It's still kind of that mat width distance, or your heels on the outside of the mat. I just shifted so you can see me. And maybe actually I'll face this way so you can see another perspective. So we bring that right leg in. Chest is going to turn to that opposite side. We're walking it forward and down. Start off gentle, wherever that means for you. And then once you can, get a little deeper. Grab those hands to the foot. Think even more. Chin to chest. And then head. Let it go wherever it goes for you. We're going to plant that left hand down now. Right hand is going to come up overhead. Gently look up towards that right side. Think of planting your opposite hip. So that should be your right hip down. Look towards the ceiling. If you can, grab those toes. See if you can go a little bit further. To get a little more back, I have to let go of my toes. Yes. And then deepen it. Go back forward. And we'll roll it all the way back up. Okay. Now that we're nice and long on our side and our back body, let's go down onto the floor. So hopefully with that extra length, this will be a little easier. So we're going to do that same transition that we did earlier, but we're going to take it all the way down this time. So those inner thighs are squeezing, hands are grabbing wherever they need to on your legs. We're going to exhale, scoop, and let it take you all the way down, super slow. If you want to challenge, take those hands off. Let them just come to a hover, but still take your time. We're down at the bottom. Ooh, I felt my pelvis crack. And I'll lift my pants up. All right, and then take a moment. You can kind of hug those knees and give them a little rock side to side. Maybe even do some nice circles for your hips, kind of open things up a little bit. And we're going to go for some leg circles. So let's start left foot onto that floor. Right leg's going to come to the ceiling. It can be slightly bent or straight, however you're feeling. Hands are going to relax down to the sides. We're going to go for a little circle here. We're going to do 3 with this leg bent. So you're going to let it cross over the midline, down and around and up. And I like to inhale and then exhale. One more like that. Really planting the hips down square. I like to always, bring my hands to my hips to make sure I know what's happening there. From here, we're going to let that bottom leg come down to the floor. If that felt good the first one, keep that top foot up. That left foot planted on the floor. If you want to intensify it, go ahead and lengthen that leg long and try to get the whole back side of the leg long. And you can either point or flex the foot, whatever feels most comfortable for you. Same thing. This time we're going to add about 3 more. So we're going for 6 circles. So we're going to let it cross down and around and up. And down and around and up. You can be a little bigger in those circles or let them get increasingly larger. Good, last two. Hips are still nice and still. And then same thing other side. And we're just gonna go straight for our 9 because we're already with our legs straight. And you can point or flex the top foot, it doesn't matter. That knee can be bent if that feels a little. We're really thinking about that inner thigh working, that bottom hamstring working, the lower abs being super active, torso staying still. And last one. And we'll hug that leg in, give it a little shake, and we'll switch. So we'll start kind of with our prep. That right heel can press down, left leg to the ceiling. I like my hands on my hips just to make sure I know what's happening, at least for these first few. And exhale as it crosses down, round and up. Start to feel that you might have to ground more with that right side. Feel that right lower ab, right oblique, right rib cage staying down. All right, we're going to go for our larger ones. If you drop the right leg, go for it. Drop that right leg down. Still go for our circles. We have 6 more. Find that you're lengthening through that left leg. So it feels like somebody's pulling it out from your hip. You should feel your inner thigh, hamstring. Try not to grip too much in the front of your quad. If you feel like you're using so much of that quad, go ahead and bend that knee a little bit. 9 more. Opposite direction. And again, your circle does not have to be as big as mine. This is like my 100th circle for the day. So my hips are real open. If your circle is right here, that's all good, boo. Do whatever you need, but as much as possible, hips are staying completely still. Good, we have our last one. And then again, we'll hug that leg in. Let it be nice and easy. You can do little shakes. Okay. Now that inner thighs, hamstrings are a little weak, let's go for our glute bridge series. We're going to do a kind of challenging one because we've been doing these for a while now, so you might as well up the ante. And we've been working for a while, so you're a little warm. Hands will be planted down. We're going to press our heels down into the floor. Legs should still be about hip width distance. And take a moment, look down, make sure hips are kind of nice and even, the ribs are even, things are in our nice stationary atomic alignment. And we're going to take a big inhale. And then as you exhale, I'm going to scoop that tailbone up towards the ceiling, pubic bone up, hollow out through the back. Then from there, let the hips roll up. Feel like someone's pulling your knees long and away towards the opposite side of the room as you roll up towards those shoulder blades. Think of the back body squeezing up to that top body. Good, and then we're going to roll it all the way back down, nice and slow. Let's just do 2 more like that to warm things up. Exhale, scoop and hollow it out. Ooh, this video is very humbling. Keep lifting, lifting. Good, and then roll it back down. I already feel my hamstrings being like, ooh, cha. 1 more. Exhale. Scoop through those lower abs. Good, still feel those front ribs closing down as much as possible. Press down into those heels. Okay, from here, we're going to stay up with the hips. Nothing's going to change. We're going to lift our right leg up to tabletop and then switch and left leg. And we're just going to go for a little march. Thinking of the hips staying still. Take a second, look down at them if you need. We're going to do each side 3 more times. If the hips drop, keep squeezing them and lifting them up. 2 more sets. Last set. I did an extra one, so we're going to go for it. All right. Right leg back up. Hips still stay still. If you can lift them, go for it. We're going to lengthen that leg up. We're going for those little circles. Down and around and up. 3. 3 in the opposite direction. 3. And 2. And 1. Drop it. Opposite leg up. Little circles. Can you lift a little higher? Now go for those circles. Opposite direction. Both legs down. Squeeze those inner thighs. Woo. And then roll it down. Nice. Hug those knees in. Take a mini moment. That was very hard to talk through. Glute bridges are like not my favorite thing. All right. We're going to do one more because why not? So, one more with our fun single leg variation. So let's do a little turnout this time. And it's probably not the most attractive direction, so I won't do full crotch, but just so that you can kind of get an idea of it. You want feet turned out. It doesn't have to be full Bolshoi ballet. We want, a little natural turnout just so we can get into the back sides of our hips a little bit. You're going to still have your heels together, little turnout through those legs, so about hip width distance with their knees, so don't let them kind of flop out. From here, we're going to exhale. We're going to lift those hips up. And then we're going to roll down. Let's just do 3 more just to kind of feel this position. Last 2. Still kind of find that scoop. Hips lift, lift, lift. And then roll it down. 1 more. Let's hold at the top. Little pulses there. Make sure it's even through those hips. We have 3. Oh, I hear things popping. I'm opening up through my hips a little bit more. Good, and then we'll roll it down. Nice. Let those legs kind of flop. Because now that was just like our warm-up. We're about to actually do the real thing now. We're going to go back to our little first. You're going to squeeze, or let's take a big inhale, then exhale. Just squeeze the abs in, squeeze the glutes, hamstrings, everything lift. We're going to lift our left leg. It's going to cross over the leg. And we're going to pulse it up. Pulse, pulse, pulse. We have 4 and 3 and 2. On that last one, hold. And then open and close. And open and close. Last 2. Open and close. And open and close. And switch. We're going to have right over left. And pulse. And pulse. And pulse. And pulse. And you have 4, 3, 2. Last one, hold. And 1. And 2. And 3. Last one, lift even a little higher. Heels back down, squeeze up. Good, and then roll it down. And that's our last one. Let those legs go long, give them a little shake. All right, we're gonna go for our full roll up this time. So, legs staying long. You can have them either squeezed together or a little space. I like a little space. The more space, the kind of easier it is. And we're going to go for our full roll up. So you're going to inhale. Hands will come up overhead. As you exhale, head rolls up to chest. Arms reach long. You have options. If you liked using your hands, use those arms. You can kind of push your elbows down. Use your hands to kind of walk you up. Forward. Sit up nice and tall. Roll it back down. If you don't want to use hands, that's okay. Or you don't even have to use hands the whole way. You can start with the abs. Use those abs. And then if you need them at the end, go ahead and use those hands. If you want to slightly bend the knees, that's okay too. And then fold it forward. Or if you're just real feisty today, those abs are on, those hamstrings are on, because your legs should be lightly pressing. You should feel those hamstrings pressing down into the ground. No hands at all. Scoop, 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 and over. Let's do one more, just in that same kind of variation. Nice. Run up. We're done with that. It's been a light abs today. Let's go for some rolling like a ball because I find it super fun. And it's like more abs than you think. So I'll move my thing so that I don't roll into anything. Actually, we'll go back on that little diagonal. That was kind of nice. Okay. From here, we're going to come towards kind of the edge of your mat. And you're going to have your feet come in kind of like we did in the beginning, but maybe a little tighter. And then you're going to exhale, take that little scoop. From there, let the toes come on. And then from there, lift those toes off and see if you can find your balance. Hands can be where they need. They can be up a little higher. Sometimes that's a little nicer. Or the more comfortable you are, the lower those hands can reach down. And then I also like to think of the shins pressing into my hands and the hands pushing back into the shins, because that gives you that little counterbalance. And then you still have that scoop through your abs. So you're kind of not just chilling. It's kind of like an exhale lift. From here, take a deeper exhale. You're going to roll just to your shoulder blades and then right back up. So you don't want to go to your neck. You're going to scoop, roll it back, and then think of deepening through those abs. And we've done this one before. It's still one of my favorites. It's more abs than you think. One last one. All right, from here, let's intensify this a little bit. We may not go for the roll back, and that's okay, but let's just find that kind of position. So we're going to go for our open leg rocker. So from here, have your hands come to the outsides. And again, if you need to keep your ball, stay at your ball. If you're going for a little challenge, go for it. Have those hands come, or shins come parallel to the ceiling. And then from there, slowly work to get those legs to a V. And you can grab wherever you need, wherever that means for you. If you need to grab down here, up here is accessible, go for it. We're just going to do one or two just to go for it so you can feel what that feels like in your body. You're going to exhale, roll it back, and then let it scoop back up. And try to find that balance. You think of deepening, exhale, scoop, and then let it come right back up. And that's it. That's enough of that. You can drop those legs down. Let those hips reach forward. Because we're going to take that into our teaser for today. So, from here, we'll start back in that same base position just to kind of let things cool or build our momentum back up. So you're going to go back to your little rock, come to your balls of your feet, lift those legs off. Now we're going to lift the shins and then lift our full V, or wherever your V is at today. Have a little space between those legs. That kind of helps. If you're feeling really advanced, squeeze those inner thighs together. Bow from here. We're going to lift one hand off and then the opposite hand. And we're just going to find that long balance position. If this is super easy, you can bring your hands up overhead. Gotta have those hands come back. Bend those knees back in. And then drop it down. Let's do one or two more of those. Find our teaser position. Okay. And at any point, do whatever variation of that works for you. If right here is good, if right here is good, if right here is good, if right there is good, if squeezing those legs, that's beautiful too. If you want, go ahead and release them. Bring those arms up. If you're really feeling fancy, do a little leg lower and lift. And then bring everything in and drop it down. We're going to do one more like that. Whew, those teasers. Take a moment. All right. Have those inner thighs come in. Lift those legs up. Find your balance. From your balance. Legs will lift and then lift. Inner thighs squeeze. And inner thighs don't have to squeeze. If you feel okay here, that's okay. If you can squeeze those inner thighs, that just gives you a little extra oomph. You can even do little reaches with the upper body up towards those toes. Yes. And then let everything come back in and down. Give those legs a nice little shake. And I personally always kind of feel my quads a little bit on that. So we're going to stretch that out a little. You can bring your, let it be gentle in your knee joint. Fold that leg in. If you need a little more open, that's okay. I personally like to have it almost like that quad stretch when you stand up. So I like to have my knees as much as I can together, as much as my knee hip will allow. And then we're just going to walk back and let that float down. If you like, you can take that opposite foot and let it come on top just to stretch the front of your quad, hip flexor out. Mine is tight. I feel it. I love high-waisted bands, but they always roll down. Like as soon as you start moving, they're like, it's like, what was your point of being high-waisted? But yeah. And as much as possible, still let those abs be active. I have a little sway in my back, but I'm trying to still close the front of my ribs. They're not kind of just arched out. So abs are still holding things in as much as possible. Take 2 or 3 more breaths there. See if you can get your heel to touch down, which is hard for me, while still keeping length through the front of my hips. Got it. And then we can do a little walk up. So it's gentle. Use your hands. You can even do a little circle. Give that leg nice little shift of pressure on that side. Same thing other side. We're going to fold that top leg in. I like to try to see if I can get as much as possible. It's more difficult the more your inner thighs are squeezing. If that leg needs to be out to the side, go ahead and do it. Feels good for your ankle, knee, hip joint because you only get one joint. So, I mean, there's replacements, but we would like to keep all of our original parts. So go to where it feels good for you. If you feel a sharp pain, back off. And if you want to intensify it, go ahead and have that top foot kind of add a little extra pressure so you can find more length. This is my more open side, which is kind of nice. I feel like y'all been seeing me struggle today, but that's okay. Breathe. We all have those days. You know, some days I do teaser and it's like, oh, this is so easy. And other days like, this is horrible. Gotta take 2 or 3 more breaths there. Kind of just let things open up. Try not to rush anything. See if you can get your knee a little down more. Try not to force it. See if you can use those abs a little bit more. And then let that leg drop. We can bring that top arm over. You can go through that side to kind of walk up and stretch out. Give both legs a nice little shaky, shake, shake. Okay. Are we ready? We only have like 10 minutes more, but we're going to kind of kill our abs for these last like 5 minutes. And I kind of left it. So we're going to go through our series of 5. Unfortunately, I probably won't be able to talk very much because there's going to be a lot happening. But I will still talk you through. It's our same series of 5 that we've been doing. And I'll still it out and kind of go through it with you. No worries there. But we're going to power through it today because, you know, summertime and abs are coming. So as our bonus, we're going to roll all the way down. If you want to be a little fancy and spicy, have the hands come back behind the head. And that will give you a little less help as you roll down, but we still have to think vertebrae by vertebrae. Okay, now that we're down at the bottom, we're going to have legs float up to our tabletop. And I'll still do it in progressions, but we're going to go for our hundreds. So, nice big inhale, exhale, head and neck lifts. Look towards your navel. We're going to pump those arms. You're going to inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, and inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. And as you know, we have 100. So we're going to be here for a while. If this is comfortable, stay right here. If you want to go a little more advanced, shoot those legs out. You can have legs turned out or parallel. I personally like to turn them out. Do whatever feels good. Arms are kind of really nice, big beats by your sides. We're scooping. You should be kind of where those shoulder blades were on that first roll down we did earlier. We're a little more than halfway. Keep reaching up, down towards that navel, legs long, nice neutral spine. 2 more. Last one. Keep your head and neck up if you can. Hug those knees in. Or kind of hug your upper body towards your knees. We're going to go for a single leg stretch. We're going to switch both hands over to our right leg. Left leg will reach long. And switch. And switch. And switch. If you need, you can always drop that head and neck down. But we're going for those abs today. Head is staying up. And again, leg can be up, a little higher if you need. It doesn't have to be so long. I'm kind of killing myself today, so I'm reaching for that floor. But if you want to go 45 or even 90, that's a-okay. Let's do each side one more time. And now we're going to do double leg. Both legs out. Exhale, scoop it in left. Out. Lift. Out. Lift. 3 more. And out. And lift. Last one. We're going to give it a mini drop just for a second for our head and neck because we're going to lift them back up. Hands are going to stay behind the head this time. Crunch it up. Both legs are shooting out line. We'll start them at about a 90 and then we'll let them get a little bigger. Again, if your head and neck needs to stay down, that's okay. You can lift your head and neck a little higher. Go for it. We have 2 more. And go at whatever range you need. I like that little gradual lift. But if you want to do it inch up, inch down, that's okay with me. Take a mini moment. We're going for our crisscross. This is our last one. Exhale it up. And right. And left. So kind of like that second one that we did. But now we're adding a little twist to it. And we're trying to kill those abs. So we're going to add a little extra variation. We're going to stay to our right side. You're going to twist to the left and then back to the right and switch. You're going to go right, left, right, switch, open, cross it, switch, open, cross it, switch, open, cross it, switch, open, cross it, switch. Last one. Open, cross it, switch, open, cross it, switch, and down. Whew. You should really be feeling those abs now, hopefully. You can kind of roll through your feet. Mine are always super snap, crackle, and poppy. All right, and then you can come to your side to sit up, or if you're fancy, go ahead and rock and roll it on up. Whew. All right, abs should be super wick. Let's do a few push-ups today and some side planks and stuff like that. So we're going to come to stand up. You can do that however feels most comfortable. It doesn't have to be fancy. And I'm going to move you so that you can still see me. Okay, that looks good. As always, talking, breathing. Make sure you get some water too. Okay. So, we're going to do kind of like a variation, kind of like a Pilates variation on a sun salutation. So, and I'll do it from the side so you can see. We're going to start legs hip width distance apart. Inhale, hands up overhead. As you exhale, we're going to roll it down nice and easy. Feel every vertebrae roll down. Or kind of stack down, fall down. Take a moment at the bottom, whatever that means for you. If your hands don't touch, that's okay. let them be a hang. Let them just kind of release. Let your hamstrings let go. From here, we're going to walk our hands all the way down to our first plank of the day. So you're going to walk as much as possible, keeping everything squared together. We're going to find our plank. Your hips will probably be a little lower than you think. Think of shoulders still away from those ears. We're just going to hang out here for like, a few seconds. I can't say a minute or two because that would just be cruel and unusual punishment. So find that long length from your head to your heels. And you can play. I personally like my legs hip width. It's a little more challenging to squeeze those inner thighs together, which is always nice. I was like, might as well try that. And I like to think of heels reaching down, shoulder blades reaching down. Everything's reaching down towards the toes. And then the toes are kind of scrunching up and in, so you're super active. Take your last 1 or 2 breaths there. And then we're going to shoot those hips up and walk those hands all the way up. Take a moment at the bottom. We're going to bend those knees. We're going to roll it up. We have 2 more like that. But of course, we're going to add some push-ups to it. We're going to inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, roll it down. This time we're going for our push-ups. So walk those hands out. Find your long plank. If holding in your plank is perfect, hang out right there. If you're feeling fancy today, I personally like to do 5 and 5 or 10 and 10 or wherever you're at, or 3 and 3. But so we have a little variation. We're going to do 5 with elbows reaching back towards you. And take a second, look at the eyes of those arms. Are they looking towards one another? Are you active in those arms? 1 more like that. And then let's change our kind of direction of our push-up. So elbows will go wide. 2. You should feel it more in your pecs, in your chest. Still think ribs close, abs close, or navel to spine. Then last one, talking and push-ups. Not a great idea. Hips rise back up. Walk those hands all the way back. Take a moment at the bottom. Soften through those knees. Roll it up. And if you haven't noticed, my counting is not great. I feel like that was 5, but probably was more than that. Okay. Last variation, we're going for our side planks. So, inhale, hands overhead. Exhale. We're rolling it down. Take your time. See if you can find more scoop. Feel that connection to your abs. They're turning on there. Because when we walk it down, they got to be on. Whew, we're in our plank. Let's go for our side today. You can plant. I like to plant my hand kind of more towards the middle of my chest and then shift to our side. If this is a lot on your wrist, that's okay. Bring it down to your elbow. That's always fine. Just make sure your shoulders in line with your hips. Feet can be kind of one in front of the other, or legs can be stacked up. We're just going to hang out here. Whatever variation that is for you. You can bring the top hand up. Think of that bottom side scooping up. Let's take 6 little pauses. 6 and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gotta take it back up. Take a mini second just to reset. When you're ready, we're gonna shift up and over. If you want to stay up here, that's okay. You can stack the leg up. Since I did the elbow on the other side, I have this thing I like to be even. We're gonna hold down here. But you can always do the whole thing on your palm. And then pulse, pulse, pulse. So you have 3 and 2. Last one. Come back up. We're going to hang out in our last little plank. Breathe it in. Find your long length. Abs more in. This time we're going to do a little different. You're going to step your feet to your hands. Whatever that means to you. It doesn't have to be, if your feet come right here, that's okay. But I really want you to scoop even more abs. See if you can really bring your feet to your hands. And then we're going to hang out down at our bottom. Just breathe there. I'll move back so you can see me. You can kind of interlace those hands. Do a nice little sway side to side. Kind of shake your head yes or no. No. Every time I do that, I don't know how, but somehow it drives me crazy. It's not your head. Then shake it now. But I always say the opposite. Stay down at the bottom. And then when you're ready, let those hands plant down or kind of go to your fall. And we're going to roll up super, super slow. Feel weight evenly into your toes. Backs of the legs active, front of the legs active. And we're up. And we're done for today. Hopefully you had fun. We did a kind of a different class. But it was still very Pilates. Have a great day. I will see you next week. If you have any comments or concerns or questions, you can always leave them in the chat thing. I'll kind of go through them. But yeah, thank you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.